Oh, yes. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't want to get this.
Don't forget to buy her
That's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. Now you're squished. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm fine.
Awesome. All right. Big smiles, everybody.
Very good.
Perfect.
I'd like to now ask Nina about her work in Project Release and what really propelled her to start this initiative.
So I think what really initially propelled me to start Project Release was a lack of knowledge of human trafficking in the United States. Many people are unaware that human trafficking goes on just in our backyards. In fact, where I come from, San Francisco, is the third largest destination for sex slaves in the United States. So many people are unaware of the basic statistics regarding the United States and sex trafficking and human trafficking in general. And so that really struck me, especially since I have a younger sister. Everyone involved in human trafficking, usually the majority of them are women and children. So that's someone's daughter, that's someone's son, that's someone's mom, and so this impacts all of our population. And so that's what really propelled me to start this project.
So Nina, how long has Project Release been in operation, and what has been the impact, and what do you see it looking in the next 2 years?
Yeah, sure. So I started Project Release around 3 years ago while I was still in high school. And our main goal, me and my two colleagues, was to spread awareness about human trafficking in the United States. So we did that by holding informational nights in my home. We also sold bracelets and scarves that we had made in an effort to raise funds. So at the end of that year, we raised over $2,000, and we donated the money to a local organization called Not For Sale. This year we wanted to do something different. We wanted to really impact people globally. And so what we did was we created a scholarship fund for children in India who cannot afford an education. So that scholarship fund will go to people, to victims of human trafficking. So I'm working with a local orphanage, and the pastor who runs the orphanage, his goal is to rescue victims of human trafficking. So there are a few girls that I've met who have been rescued from human trafficking who we will sponsor with our scholarship. And the good thing about the scholarship is that the funds are raised by taking products from local Indian villages. So like we were talking about weavers, we are buying the raw material of the beautiful saris that these people make and making them into products that are more marketable to U.S. buyers. So the funds that we directly raise from those products will go directly back into the scholarship fund to support human trafficking victims.
So the same question that I asked Shreya and Deeksha, what was the most major challenge that you had to overcome for Project Release to be alive?
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things is creating trust with organizations who are already existing to prevent human trafficking. It's a very, I would guess the word is secretive, it's very, very hard to rescue girls and keep it so they don't, pimps or brothel owners don't come back looking for them or want to take them back again, or it's very hard for them to not run back into that type of lifestyle because that's all they know. So they try to keep a very low profile, so it's very hard to establish a relationship with those people. So just doing that, taking the length of time to do that has been my biggest challenge.
And how do you think, since we are talking about villages and underserved communities, how do you think Project Release can impact those communities in that context? How do you see the translation happening?
Yeah, so children who do not have an opportunity of an education are now getting that opportunity. They wouldn't have had that before. They do not have the means to provide for themselves in order to get an education. So now we are giving that to them in Mori, India. And additionally, I think that buying the raw material from the weavers, is economically sustaining that community as well. It's keeping that trade alive by using those products to resell here.
Thanks, Nina. Now, Judah, I would like to ask you. So the common thread is that all of you are very young, and you've taken these initiatives on pretty early. So what was so Judah, you working in the Smart Village program at Nori. So as a young person who has million other choices, why were you part of the Smart Village program, and what do you think this project is going to achieve?
Yeah, it's a great question. Before I start though, I think talking about women empowerment, I'm the only guy up here, which is great. But I think, yeah, it's definitely pause-worthy. But I think this particular project in the village of Mori is very personal to me. We had a dinner before we came here on Wednesday night with all the people involved in the Smart Village team, and my grandfather was there. And he was actually from the village of Mori, and so was my father. And he was talking about when he was 12 years old and he was herding cattle instead of going to school. He wasn't getting an education because that was kind of what he was born to do, is just continue the cycle of poverty. And then the immense change from then until now, and the impact that Smart Village has created on this. And that's kind of like why I really want to be part of this project, is because I'm a legacy of that. I'm a legacy of that village. You know, it's my grandfather's village, it's my father's village, and it's my village. This is where I learned to ride a bicycle. You know, I've been going there every year for my entire life. And before the project, I was actually, I'm actually managing the school and the hospital that the Smart Village is based off of. The headquarters of Smart Village is on that campus. This isn't just, you know, something that I can really choose. This has been my life. And that's why it's very personal to me. Of course, you know, I want to go into my own career and you know, have my own life, but Mori will always be part of me, and it's not really a choice. This is, you know, what I was born to do.
So one thing that I would like all of you to answer, you know, one at a time, is why did you care? You have already kind of shared that. Why is it that anybody else should care to follow in those footsteps? Why is it important to lend your time and efforts in something which may not directly affect you, but it is kind of, because we are in a global society, we are so closely knit now with technologies, that it is going to come back and we are going to get impacted. But when we are doing it, it is something that is beyond yourselves, right? You were not exactly thinking about your immediate interests in mind when you got involved. And why I'm asking this question is because they are young and they have gone out and taken this initiative, and so they have just shared why they are part of this, but it is also important to know what they have in terms of a message for other people. Why should they care? So Neena, would you like to start? And how they can potentially get involved in the work that you all are doing?
Yeah, so I think the main thing that really I want to share about why everyone here should care is because it's largely an American problem, whether we realize it or not. You know, American businesses outsource in India. They buy people's farms, create them into sweatshops, and sell the products here for profit. You know, that's someone's child. Like I was saying earlier, that's someone's child that is working there for little to no money. And so it's largely an American problem because we feed that problem. You know, our consumerism feeds that problem. So that's why we should care. Secondly, I have a younger sister, and to think anything that would happen to her. You know, we all know someone younger than us. We all know a cousin, a sister, a mom. You know, had we been born in another time, in another country, that could have been us. That could have been our friend. That could have been someone related to us. So I think it's largely our problem. We largely feed this problem, and that's why we should care.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll answer this in context of smart villages, like why the models of smart villages are important for all of us, because this is a model that is creating jobs. It's not social service, but at the back end, it's called social entrepreneurship, because we are creating ready-made models for a rural entrepreneur to earn it and run it on his own. So on one end, we are solving the pain of the villages or pain points that the villagers are facing, but at the back end, they're able to earn it. They're not migrating now. They're able to run the businesses on their own, and they're able to generate money. And that's what matters for villages, that at the end, they have something in their hand to survive. So it is about jobs creation, and World Economic Forum also has this, talks about job creation this time. So this is.
So,
think there's two reasons why I did this. The first is that, being a psychology major teaches me a lot about empathy and, like knowing that a population is, dying because of the natural disaster is, like there is this favorite quote by Martin Niemöller. He says that first they came for the communists and I did not speak up because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists and I did not speak up because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me and there was no one left to speak up for me. So I've always felt that empathy is what drives a lot of things I do in life. But secondly, while I was working there, what kept me motivated was that there's so many skilled people with skill sets that we do not know about, and these skill sets can benefit the world in ways that we do not know about yet. And what is our responsibility, at least, is to harness those skill sets, bring it to forums like these, and then see what they can do in the world. So that always keeps me motivated to find indigenous communities with skill sets that the world does not know about, and then bring them to power in some way or the other.
Like I said earlier, this movement is kind of like personal to me, but it's really bigger than me, and it's bigger than everyone else working on this project. And I really think that the reason why it's bigger than us is the adaptability of the model that we're creating. What's really cool about this model is it can be taken anywhere. The model that we're creating can be taken to other emerging economies like Africa, China, Thailand, other Asian countries. But it can also be taken to developed countries, the Western world, and it's very relevant right here in the United States. While it's on a different level than India, the problems that the United States faces very similar to the problems India faces. There are, people of color and minorities, face the same problems that people in villages in India face. And I really think that this model can affect, more than 1 billion people. We're not talking about, a really small scale model. This is something that can affect everyone worldwide, and it's bigger than all of us. And I think that's why everyone should really be a part of it, is because it can help everyone in this room. It can help everyone you guys know, and it's a huge project.
Thank you. Thank you, all the panelists. Now the session is open for questions. If you have any questions for any of the panelists, please ask.
Any question? Come on, this is your time. Now it's your turn. Sure. Does it involve money?
Yeah, basically. Nina, I run an organization here in New York called Life Preservers Project, and we focus on raising funds for victims of human trafficking in New York through arts and through the legal community. I'm very heavily involved in investing in the legal community. So I would love to speak to you more about ways I might be able to help you get connected with law firms here in New York who might be willing to either help within the legal realm if you have needs for that, for the survivors in India and involved maybe on a larger scale on some level. But this is something that we're working very closely with many law firms in New York to help develop and create. So
Thank you so much. I'll speak with you.
Wow, that was a lovely offer. Thank you so much, Meena. Anyone else?
Mary has a question.
My question is about the smart village and the education aspect of it. So we heard a bit about the health, the telemedicine bit, but could you say a little bit about the education model and how that works?
So the education model, Shreya can talk about Mori, and Deeksha, you can touch upon the initiative that we started. Yes.
So in Mori, under the Smart Village initiatives, we digitalized classrooms. So basically, one of the corporate called Cisco helped us setting up the Cisco virtual classrooms where almost 72 schools can get connected at one time. And not only that, we introduced a curriculum which is very special, which is not reading books or anything, but it is all about music and dance, and where kids learn in unconventional ways. So we implemented these two initiatives under Smart Villages. So not only does the villagers now get to interact with the city teachers, but then also getting to interact with the nearby schools in the cities. So that was a part of education.
So like I mentioned that I was working in a village that was at the rock bottom of employability because of the natural disaster. What we tried was to initiate a model which is called English for Success, because a lot of people there could not speak English, which eventually led to the rejection from a lot of jobs that they applied to, especially in the corporate sector. So that's what we tried. We tried to build a network of English teachers who would teach English to the students so they at least have a basic level of employability.
We have time for one more last question. Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Flax. I'd like to hear from any of the panelists who'd like to answer this question. I'll frame it first that you don't sound like teenagers.
They are not teenagers. They are in, I think the oldest is 22.
Oh, okay.
So they are from 19 to 22.
Okay.
The under 18 is the next panel.
I see. Okay. Very good. Nevertheless, you're young people, but you sound very wise, very experienced. So I want to ask about what you had learned, what you overcame. How did you personally grow from your participation in your activity with OMAD?
Just give a very brief answer.
Yeah.
We're running out of time.
I had to stop being X, or I learned to be Y.
Yeah, like it's like a brief answer. Okay, so like we always like think that there are problems bigger than us in the world, and that while that does not make our problems smaller, it makes us wiser to acknowledge and put others' needs before us. So like even while I was traveling and like it makes you cranky. Like when you were traveling for 14 hours with no food, it just makes you think, why am I doing this? And that too, for 7 months, 7 times. I traveled 7 times, and that place was so cold you could not feel your hands. I could not type and tell ma'am what I was doing at a moment. So it was difficult, but I learned that even in the worst of it, I did not have any relations with those people, but I was putting them before my physical comfort. That's something I learned to cultivate, and I think that's going to help me in major things that I'm going to do.
And just to add to this, it's the chain of mentorship that is really important. Like we getting mentored, so we are getting benefited. We mentoring the rural entrepreneurs, so they're getting benefited. So it's the chain of mentorship that is very special, and it's organic for us.
Judah or Lina?
I think one of the biggest things for me is we look at these gargantuous problems and we say there's no way we can tackle these. There's no way we can be a part of a solution for this. And really realizing that yeah you can, yeah we can, I can, is actually very empowering. And you can really feel that you're being a part of a movement, a revolution that's going to change a real big issue in the world, and that is poverty and human trafficking and huge problems that we never thought we could be a part of.
So we'd like to wrap up this event with the 2 things that Shreya and Diksha would like to share. Is how other people can get involved in what they are doing. And they have something that, excuse me, they have really mentored the community's members to come up with, which are tangible ways in which you can contribute to the work that Shreya and Diksha have been involved in the villages. And I will let them say that, and then we can wrap up.
Sure. So other thing that I was involved in the village was the weavers community, as we were saying. So I have a pouch here made out of saris. So literally we taught villagers that you need not sell your product as mere sari. No, everybody might not know, but you can change your products into something which is beneficial globally. So these are some of the products that are here for that. You can buy it and then make a contribution to them.
I hope everyone buys it. Not hope, we can, but everyone should buy it. And support.
So this project that was called the Teddy Bear Project, it started when Manav sir told us that he was in the village and he was asking the kids like, what business would you want to start? And you would expect that they would say like, businesses like, a shop or something. But this girl, she stood up and said that, I want to start a teddy bear business because I've grown up without teddy bears. And like, I don't want my kids to grow up without teddy bears. And he conveyed this to us, and we thought, thought that so much of what we were doing was economic based. What about spreading happiness? So that's what we did. So we trained the women there. They already knew stitching. We gave them raw material and we trained them on how to make teddy bears. And then we packaged those teddy bears. I have one here. So they are on display there as well. So this says spread happiness one teddy bear at a time, the card says. And inside the card there are stories of women who made the teddy bears. And so the policy is that for every 10 teddy bears sold in the city or elsewhere, one kid in the region will get a teddy bear for free. So that's something that we're trying to build up. So we're trying to spread happiness through this project. So you can buy these teddy bears, they're there on display.
Again, not can, you have to buy.
So on that positive note, we would like to thank all panelists for their valuable input and thank you all for
Thank you so much, Kathy. You are by far the best moderator I've seen. And also, I have to admit, all of you were so amazing at the way you conducted and spoke. I mean, you don't see young people like this speaking at the UN in the language of the UN, and it's really amazing. So huge round of applause for all of them.